Thank you very
Yeah.
much, sir.
So basically, Subbu asked me why you are investing so heavily in Andhra in renewable energy sector. So before I give a long answer to him, I have a short answer. Today, entire day, Honorable CM is the only presentation which is so comprehensive. Each and everything is crystal clear, all the policies, all technologies. So it was so informative. What as business people and industry people, we could have taken 4 days or at least couple of hours to learn. We learned only in half an hour. So we are just by attending this AP session, we have a profit of 3.5 hours and more. So imagine what will happen if you go and invest that estate. So that is the short answer on a lighter note. Now, thank you, sir. I was personally very impressed. It was so comprehensive, business friendly. So I thought I should put it on record. I took the liberty of mentioning this. Um, we are already investing in the estate for past couple of years, and we have committed 50,000 crores, 9 gigawatt, which is already approved by us in solar, wind, and there are many good reasons for that. Number one, Andhra is one of the very few states where you have very large scale good resource potential. You have large scale potential of solar, you have wind, and you have pump hydro projects, and you have a very, very good coastline. Honorable CM mentioned that we have 4 ports coming up. I happen to visit some of them for myself. So you could basically utilize, leverage these ports for green ammonia export hubs. Port access is very, very critical. And we do not find any state where you could do solar and wind both. So that is number one. Number two, Mr. Tyagi is already here. Grid evacuation infrastructure. In our renewable industry, sir, we always discuss where do we find connectivity. That's the number one problem we have. And with uh, the proactive support of state government, Power Grid and CTU is relatively more successful in creating grid infrastructure in Andhra, and that is a lesser constraint. And thanks to Power Grid, Mr. Tyagiji is here, and thanks to Mr. Vijay Anand. That is another reason. You have the resource, you have the grid. And third reason is capital can go anywhere where the everything is friendly. And the state machinery now, and the policy is coming up soon. We see a lot of activity already in various state departments, NRED cap, the energy department, all the discoms. So we feel quite comfortable, is friendly. Of course, is always, we have room to improve, but given overall, we have been, we found that it is perhaps the best opportunity for our large scale capital. That's the reason we are there.
Thank you. Nice, kind words. We will live up to your expectations. We will work in that direction. I am very happy. Always improvement, there is a scope. By listening all of you, how to improve further, we will work in that direction. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I would now like to shift the discussion towards one of the most important topics, which is also closer to your heart, which is the wind sector. We have with us Shri JP Chalsan Garu, CEO Suzlon. Mr. Chalsani, AP is undoubtedly one of the leading states in the country with respect to wind. And today we are seeing appetite for firm, dispatchable, renewable energy growing. So, in your opinion, what do you attribute to the success of AP in India's wind story, and how do you see the role of Andhra Pradesh emerging in the new age bids, which are not plain vanilla solar or wind?
Thank you, Subbu. Two caveats before I speak. One is I'm a domicile of AP, and second is I'm a big fan. I don't mind announcing that of Mr. Naidu professionally. So the thing is that I've been following you for the last 40 years. I had my experience of creating Simadri project with you and various things. And you just not talked about distribution, billing. I distinctly remember when Delhi got privatized, I wasn't realized that time, I was the first CEO of a couple of distribution companies there. The first phone call we requested was AP Discom CMDs for learning how to do the distribution, how you improve the efficiencies there. I remember that after a few months, then Mr. Anil Ambani said, let's go and meet Mr. Naidu. Let's see what we can do in AP in distribution, because we wanted to expand our business. Sir, you may not remember, it was at a Sankranti, we came to your house, spent there. When we were talking about distribution, for 2 hours, you gave me a lecture on what are you doing on distribution, billing, old city problems, how are you resolving the billing and collection there. We came out, I told Mr. Ambani saying that, sir, this is not the place, they're already doing it, let's go and do somewhere else. So I think that's something which you've been teaching us, not just me, the most of the professionals in the power sector. Even the latest flood relief what you have done. So there are some lessons for corporate CEOs like us. Okay? I was at Vijayawada last weekend. When you talk to the people, what you hear from them is that it's not that what you've done. I think more importantly is that the confidence that government is working, they will take care of us. That anxiety of people is what you're taking away. If as corporate CEO we can do that internally and externally, that's a big thing for us. That's what I wanted to put a caveat. But coming back to Subbu, what you asked on these things, AP is really blessed in a number of ways. As we saw the use potential for wind, use potential for solar. But what also important factor is that in wind everybody looks at PLF. But AP has a uniqueness that even if the PLF is little lower compared to the neighboring states, the power availability during the peak hours is much higher in AP. So therefore, the AP is a hotbed for hybridization compared to other states. So that's one thing. You can't just look at what is the PLF in AP versus a PLF in Tamil Nadu. But that wind profile, when you look at it, it's ideally suited for hybridization. So therefore, on top of it, with the whatever you can do in solar manufacturing there, you talked about mine to module, putting that and hydro. AP has been pioneer in pumped hydro and then left some time back, long back, one of the first pumped hydro power stations came up in AP. Hydro, because with all this, I think the AP is the real place where we can go for FDRE, because the load following FDRE is the one which will replace fossil fuel, where we can set up power plants which can actually meet 15-minute demand, which is what is the most of the bids are coming now, and even the tariffs have reached to sub 5, it will further come down, practically same tariff as fossil fuel is the right one. So therefore, AP is the hotbed for FDRE and hybridization. So, but most important thing, sir, is that resources are huge in the country. Even as a country, we have 1,200 gigawatts of wind potential. We hardly used 4%. But what is most important is, in my opinion, is the enabling environment.